Bryan Houston here with Coach Kyle Westerberg out in the sunshine this morning. Good to see you, and really good to see you. Uh, so, uh, of course, Kyle's the head football coach at Whitehouse High School. Whitehouse drops one to Nacogdoches in the district opener 28-19 last Friday night, and falls to 0-4, and that's a lot of negatives. But Coach, first of all, you tell me what you saw. I'll tell you what I saw. I was kind of encouraged with what happened in the second half because it started to seem like your offense got in a little bit of rhythm and your defense was not having to play the whole game like they did in the first half. So you take it first.
Well, the first half, I believe we again, it's kind of the same story we've been talking about the last couple of weeks is we didn't play together. We didn't do things where, one side of the ball would correlate together. And so, and you saw that defensively, we got to stop in the first possession, 3 and out. They punted it. Obviously, that one was kind of crazy because we fumbled it and it was kind of a mad chaos. But then offensively, we go 3 and out, and a quick 3 and out, give the ball right back to them, which puts our defense back on the field after 3 plays. And, they go down the field and score. And again, we can't respond offensively. And the next thing you know, we're in a hole 14-0. We get it back to a 14-7. We cut it to 14-7. But again, defensively, we can't get a stop. And so now we're back in the hole of 14 points, and it's 21-7 going into halftime. And so that was a struggle. We made some halftime adjustments defensively. Offensively, we just said we got to go do our stuff, and it's us that are making the mistakes, and it's us that's beating us. And so then we came out in the second half. Opening drive, second drive weren't very good until we finally got clicking.
But you got clicking, and the two things. First thing I'll say is that you're down 14-0. You get the touchdown from Conflitti to Wilson. You get called for taunting. That was a massive penalty because they kicked off. You kicked off deep. They got a good return, and they've got a short field. To me, that was a killer penalty.
Yeah, and I'm failed to mention, discipline issues. And of course, my take is a 15-yard personal foul is a selfish penalty. No matter if it's a late hit, it's this, it's that, it's taunting. And so I made sure that kid understood how I felt about the situation. We handle it, the next week. We handle everything on Monday when penalties like that come around. But yes, that was a game changer. And one thing we talked about the kids yesterday is it's a momentum killer. You just created a big play. Boom, there's the spark. We get that penalty. It's a momentum killer because now we got to kick it deep and kick it as far as we can. We're not really kicking it very deep. Give it to their best player. They return it back to the 35, a short field position.
So it goes from being a 7-point game to a 14-point game at halftime. The other thing that was stunning about the ball game is you only had it 6 plays in the first quarter. They had twice as many plays the whole first half. I think 42-22. And the option, man, what is it? I feel like I'm back in the 80s again.
Teams are starting to bring it back, and it's just different ways to fit everybody's system. And everybody has their own system, and it's all different. But essentially, it's all kind of going back to you don't see it in the old school veer, 3 backs, a fullback, a dive, an option deal like that. You see it out of a bunch of different formations.
Yeah, you're not watching the military academies.
No, even though they still do that today, but people are getting into different ways to figure out how to run the football and put defenses in a bind.
Now, the second half, you guys it was great to see Zach Norvell back. First of all, had a huge interception in the game to get a stop. And then, you mentioned getting going there midway through the third quarter. It's the first time it looked like your offense was in sync this year. I mean, suddenly Reed Alexander's in the game now. You're able to hit him short passes, deep passes, and that gave you that third threat because Wilson has been playing pretty well, and McCoy has. And to get Reed going was, I thought, a big thing. It looked like everybody kind of was getting in sync finally.
It was, and it's some of it's due to the off week, and the open week. Kind of, yes, you're working things and you're working timing and you're doing all that, but again, you're not playing and keeping that rhythm. So we kind of had the little offset with that. I think in the first half you can kind of see, but it should never be that way. The only thing that's different is game speed. But to get him back going in the second half, and he knew going in, he was very hard on himself, and I challenged him and said he was better than that, and you saw it in the second half. Once we kind of got and going, maybe this is going to spark us from here. From here on out, and now that we have 3 to 4 big play guys.
You got within 21-13. Again, they drive, you get a killer penalty, the hit out of bounds that gives after an explosive play. So they get a huge chunk of yardage there and are able to kind of pretty much ice the game because they go up 28-19 at that point. To me, those 2 penalties were probably the biggest plays in the ball game, because without those 2, those are 2 touchdowns they probably don't get, in my opinion.
Yes, and it's a discipline thing, and the hit out of bounds, I didn't question the kid's effort, because those are always in that gray area,
right?
But again, the kids got to know where they're at situationally on the field, and he makes the tackle, he grabs them, on the tackle, and then he's going out of bounds, but then he continues and slings them. And that's where, talking to the kid, he's like, I didn't quite know where I was. And I was like, no, I'm not questioning your effort, but it's just knowing where you're at. And then the situation, it's a momentum killer. It's a big third down.
Right. So you guys fall to 0-4. And like I said, I came away from it feeling pretty encouraged with what I saw in the second half.
Right.
You as a coach, obviously you look at different things. You look at the film. So
right.
What'd you tell the kids after the game? What have you been talking about during this week?
It's after the game, again, I apologize to them. I mean, essentially, we know we can play better. We know what we can do based off of what we did in the second half. We can do that 4 quarters of the football game. But, I told them, don't blame yourself. Don't blame each other. If you got issues or if you want to blame me. Because it's essentially me, and I gotta be better. We demand so much from these kids that I told them I did them a disservice and didn't give them 100% of me. And so I made sure this week I'm gonna give them 110%. I know I'm gonna give them everything I got through this thing, but it's just believing. We talked about believing last week. Again, it's believing in ourselves this week, and then just being committed at everything that we do. And I've told them it's real easy to fold up shop. I mean, you can fold up shop right now and call it good, or are you going to be committed to? Are you going to be committed to finishing this thing up? Also told them, if we're sitting 4-0 right now, things are looking different. But resiliency. What are we going to do? When things are tough and times are tough, and in life, things are going to be tough. Life's not easy. And so how are we going to be resilient through this process?
So this coming week, you've got MtPleasant on the road. What do you know about them?
It's going to be a tough battle. Obviously they're in the same boat we are. They played who I think is the best team in the district, Texas High. I think they were up maybe 13-9, 13-8 going into the second quarter. Played them tough. They're a physical football team. They are going to run it first from an offensive standpoint, and they got a running back that I think it's the same kid from last year that he can play. Defensively, they're big, they're physical. We got a true test in front of us as far as the physicalityness.
When you finish looking at the film and everything, and I know you hand out different awards and things like that. What did you like about the game last Friday night? And I know I realize that's kind of hard to find sometimes, but
it's the effort. It's 48 minutes of effort. I thought the kids never quit, and you could see people that were trying to step up and say, give me the ball. I'm fixing to make a play, especially from the offensive standpoint. Their effort was good all the way up until until the buzzer sounded. And so we got some things to fix. We got to figure out how to run the football. I thought offensive line wise, we've been playing pretty good through the non-district season. But I feel like they took a step backwards just a little bit. We got to get better and figure out how to run the football. Running backs got to do a lot better being able to, get 3, get 4, get 5. And then, just trusting the process from the running the football standpoint. But their effort was good, 48 minutes worth.
When you're up against a team like Nacogdoches, who has a massive offensive line, and they were determined, they ran the ball 50 times. You knew what they were going to do, and you guys, fight hard on defensive line, but you're outmatched. It looks like physically sometimes. What do you do to neutralize that, if anything?
I thought we did a good job defensively in the second half, making some adjustments. We just didn't throw the same thing at them. That's been coming the last 3 weeks. And really even into last year, we bounced into some odd front stuff. Just to create some different looks and create a little chaos for them, so it just wasn't the same thing. And that's what we got to do. We got to move guys around. We've got to move, whether you move them on the snap or you change some personnel. We got to be able to do that, and really on both sides of the ball, because we are outmatched right now.
Got 6 games left, still got everything in front of you, even though it was a tough way to start the district. And you mentioned that and it looks like there are a lot of teams that are kind of struggling right now, just like Whitehouse is at this point. So nobody's running away with this thing other than maybe Texas High. But there's 4 playoff spots,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I told obviously the 0-3 start, we washed that away. So we're in the second chapter of our season. And just told them everything that you want to do is still in front of you. They just have to go take it. We can't take it as coaches. We wish we could. But the kids, I told them, I was like, it's sitting right in front of you. It's like a plate of food. Go take it. I mean, it's yours. You just got to go do it, and you got to go fight to go take it. And so I think they're kind of seeing that, and we still got the kids that believe, and we got some guys stepping up as leaders and being able to say, look, I don't like losing anymore. I don't want to lose anymore. So I'm going to go take it. And the more guys we can get on that same path and that same level, I think we'll be okay.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck this coming Friday night against MtPleasant. Thanks very much for your time as always. Hang in there. It's going to get better.
We're going to work on it, and like I told them, I said the sun will come up the next day, and we just got to keep getting better and just keep attacking it one step at a time.
Very good, Coach. Thanks very much for your time as always, and good luck Friday night.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.